All right, students, so we get to this situation where we are looking at the law of sines. If you look just one page back, you have a nice kind of descriptor of all the different trig graphs that you get and some notes to go along with that. So maybe that can help you through your process as you go through your work. So I'll try to get that answer posted as soon as possible. Let's look at our second piece. So first part is going to be graphing. Second part is going to be solving triangles. And many triangles are not right triangles, but oblique triangles, meaning no angles are 90 degrees. And so let's see what we know about right triangle trig to find a way to solve these triangles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a 90-degree angle by just dropping that. I'm going to call this angle A, angle B, and then angle C. That would make this side A and this side B. And I'm going to call this thing in the middle H. And I'm going to write an expression for angle A. I'm going to say that the sine of angle A is equal to H over B. So think about that. Sine of angle A is equal to H over B. And then I'm going to do a similar one for B. Sine of angle B is equal to H over A. And if we simply just cross multiply here, we get H is equal to B sine of A. And if we cross multiply here, we get H is equal to A sine of B. Whoop. Well, it turns out that if they're both equal to H, then they're both equal to each other. So in fact, B sine of A is equal to A sine of B. And finally, if we just divide through by AB, watch what happens here. Divide both sides by AB, the B's cancel, and the A's cancel. And you get this equation, the sine of A over A is equal to the sine of B over B. And thus the law of sines is born. Given triangle ABC with triangle sides A, B, and C, then we say that the sine of angle A over A is equal to the sine of angle B over B, which is equal to the sine of angle C over C. Those are all true. Okay, so here we have it set up, and we're going to go to work here on solving these kind of triangles. So we are going to list A, B, and C, side A, side B, and side C. A is 42 degrees, B is 80 degrees, and side A is 10. So as I construct this triangle here, I'm going to call it A, B, and C. A is 42 degrees and B is 80 degrees. And side A is 10. This is C and this is B. So the first thing that you have to do as you look at your triangle is you need to get used to classifying the triangle. Now in this triangle I have two angles. I have two angles and then a side that does not sit between the angles. So this is an angle side. This is a point of confusion, but suppose that you were given C, then it would be angle side angle because you would have the side included between there. But there's a difference between angle side and angle side angle. You have this one because the side does not sit between those two. Okay? So angle side. And if you remember from geometry, that's a congruence theorem. And the cool thing about this unit is we have this nice decision tree that sits on the end here. If you look at it, it tells you that if you have an angle side situation, there is just one solution using the law of sines. So we have one solution using the law of sines. So we're going to solve for this triangle, and we are going to first, we're going to first find angle C. All the angles need to add up to 180. So I go ahead, I turn this on, and I go 180 minus 80 minus 42. And I get 58 degrees. So we've got that missing piece. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sine of angle A divided by side A is equal to the sine of angle B divided by side B. So it's always the angle over its opposite side. If you cross multiply, you get B times the sine of 42 is equal to 10 sine of 80. Once I'm at that point, I could cross multiply. All right, so sorry, copy. Here I am. I'm mixing up, folks. Sorry about that. Let's go back here. Okay, so we got B sine of 42 is equal to 10 sine of 80. So I'm going to divide both sides by that 10 sine of 42. Excuse me. I get B is equal to 10 sine of 80 divided by the sine of 42. And so I take out my calculator, turn it on, and I've got 10 sine of 80, close your parenthesis, divided by the sine of parenthesis 42. And we get 14.72. So we know that side B is 14.72. In order to find side C, we do the same thing. Sine of, say, 42 over 10. So that's sine of A over A. And we're going to go sine of C. Sine of angle C. What is angle C? We said C is 58. So sine of 58 over side C. Cross multiply, 10 sine of 58 equal to C sine of 42. Divide both sides by sine of 42. Take out my handy-dandy calculator, and I've got 10 sine of 58 divided by sine of 42. And lo and behold, I get 12.67. So 12.67. Now just note, what's your smallest angle? 42, so A should be your smallest side. What's your biggest angle? 80, so B should be your biggest side, and they are, and as you can see, C is in the middle. That's a good check. All right, so our last example, and you'll be ready to do your assignment. This one's just a little bit different. We're going to set it up here, and we have A, B, C, then A, B, C. So it doesn't matter where you label them. We'll go A, B, and C. B is 12 degrees, side B is 12, and side A is 10. So we got B is 12 degrees, and side B is 12, and side A is 10. So what we have in this situation is, if you consider your triangle, we have two sides and an angle. So is it side, side, angle, or is it side, angle, side? Well, if you look, this one would indicate that the angle sits between the two sides, and it doesn't sit between the two sides. So therefore, it is side, side, angle. And if you remember from geometry, side, side, angle backwards spells donkey. So that's a really bad scenario. It's not a congruence theorem, so it causes problems. So if you follow this side, side, angle decision tree about how to solve it, you come across this piece. It says, is the side opposite the angle shorter than the other given side, or is the side opposite the angle longer than the other given side? And so let's look at our drawing and figure that out. The side opposite the angle is longer than the other given side. 12 is longer than 10. So it's in the longer category. And if that's the case, then it says you just have to do one solution for the law of sines. You can see if it's not the case, then it gets a little bit more complicated. You're not going to have any of those during this lesson. But just note that that's the solution we get. So we're going to go ahead and work through here. And we're going to set it up. I could take the sine of B, which is 12, divided by the side 12, is equal to sine of angle A over 10. So in this situation, I do not have an angle. I'm going to multiply both sides by 10. I get 10 sine of 12 over 12 is equal to the sine of A. And I'm going to turn that into a fraction. So 10 times the sine of 12 divided by 12. And notice I get 0.1732. 0.1732 is equal to the sine of A. Hopefully you remember how to find an angle from our last test. And instead of pressing sine, you press second sine of 0.13 or 0.1732. Or if you press second answer, which is the negative key, it will simply take that 0.173 on your calculator and pop it back in there. You can see you get 9.98 degrees. So angle A is 9.98 degrees. Now that I have that, it's easy to figure out angle C. I will take 180 minus 12 minus 9.98. And what do I get? I get 158.02. Great. Now that I have that set up, I can finally finish this off. The sine of B over B, or the sine of 12 over 12, is equal to the sine of C, so 158.12 divided by side C. Let's solve that component. If you cross multiply, you get C sine of 12 is equal to 12 sine of 158.12. Divide both sides by the sine of 12. C is equal to 12 sine of 158.12 over the sine of 12. Take out my calculator. 12 sine 158.12 divided by sine of 12. Press enter. 21.51. Note that is the biggest side. It should correspond with the biggest angle, as it does. And the smallest angle corresponds with the smallest side. It's a good indication that we are right. So, for your first assignment, you're going to be doing the law of sines. In all situations, you are going to come up with either angle, side, angle, or side, angle, and there will just be one solution. After that, we'll talk about the challenging solutions. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you soon.